Hey friends, today I decided to swap the speaker on my Fender Custom Deluxe 68 reissue. Here's what I did. One super boring riff, sloppily played on a PRS Silver Sky. The progression goes through one time on the neck pickup and then one time on the neck middle combo, and then there's a small amount of minor pentatonic noodling on the bridge pickup at the end. This isn't impressive. It's not supposed to blow you away. It's not going to get stuck in your head. But what it does do is it shows a full strumming sound on an E major chord, then some riff work all the way up to the 12th fret of the high E string. So I think it shows the range of each speaker in a relatively quick way. After that progression plays once, I then turn on a tube screamer, the JHS Bonsai, set to the TS9 setting with the settings pretty much at 12 o'clock. I'll take a picture of it. And after that, the only other thing to know is that I did put them all in the same cabinet, had them all mic'd the same way with the Sennheiser E906 and a Shure SM57. My selection of speakers is actually quite simple. These are the speakers that I have at the moment. I'm not a shop and I don't have paid promotions, so I work only from my own inventory, and it's really hard to compare speakers online. So this is one I've been wanting to do since I got this in. For now, I'm just going to let you hear the speakers in order. I may do this test again, but this actual simple test was enough for me to pick a new speaker. I'll talk about what my speaker selection was at the end and why I chose it, and I'd love to hear your comments in the comments section. So for this demo, I did this with the Celestion V Type, which is the stock speaker. It's not a bad speaker at all. The Celestion Creamback, the Celestion Vintage 30, the Eminence Swamp Thang, and the Eminence Governor, which is actually a 16 ohm speaker. It's an 8 ohm load from the amp, so it's a little darker sounding, but I actually thought that was kind of a fun variable. It's perfectly safe to put a 16 ohm speaker in an 8 ohm amp. Without any further ado, here are the sound samples. See the chapter marks at the bottom to jump around, and I hope you enjoy. So here are my final thoughts. I'm going to rank them starting with last place and going up to first. Last place is the Celestion V Type. I played this amp for a couple years with this speaker. It is bright and balanced and it takes pedals well, but it just doesn't stack up against these replacements. Next was the Celestion Creamback. It had nice low end, clear high ends, but it just didn't work for this amp in my opinion. That being said, I put one of these in a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe a couple years ago, and it was one of the best sounds I've ever heard out of that amp or this speaker. Next, the Governor. Great warm and darker tone, but perhaps a bit too much for this amp. I loved this speaker in higher gain amps and even paired it with my little Vox AC4 because of that overly punchy British voicing, which is negated by the darkness of the speaker. But for this amp, it was just too dark for my taste. Second place was the Vintage 30. Probably my all-time favorite speaker for a number of applications, and in this amp, I think it was the best with the overdrive on, but it just barely lost out to my first choice, which was the Eminence Swamp Thing. This speaker is crystal clear, great balance of warmth, jangle, and darkness. I put this in and I haven't looked back. It is a 150 watt speaker, so it didn't want to break up quite as much as the others, but I recently got an attenuator so I can crank this amp up to 10 without someone calling the police, and the Swamp Thing sounds incredible. So those are my thoughts, and I'm curious to hear yours. Leave a comment with your rankings and anything you notice about the tone. I know myself well enough to know that I'm probably never done tinkering with this amp, so I'll probably do another swap at some point. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't enjoy this, then go ahead and like and subscribe anyway. You can always rage watch.